I sent my kids off to school every day thinking they would be safe. And I think that's a general perception that the public has about their own individual schools.
If someone would have asked me prior to April 20th, I would have said it could never happen at Columbine High School. This is an ideal high school.
Victim down 10 feet.
I looked down the hallway and there was a person, rather tall person with a white t-shirt, black baseball cap turned backwards. And I walked into the gunfire, and at that point all I remember is I'm going to die, or what is it going to feel like to have bullets pierce your body? And I hear the glass breaking behind me and I froze.
When I climbed through that window at Columbine, I was told 6 shooters inside that school. No idea where they were. Hunting for these guys. Every door we opened, we thought we're gonna be in a gun battle. Here it is.
Anne Marie was shot and paralyzed. They didn't expect her to make it.
Dave Sanders, who's a dear friend of mine, came up the staircase about the same time I came out my door. And so basically when the gunman was coming towards me, he stopped when he saw Dave, turned and went and shot Dave in the back.
Both as a parent and as a professional dealing in recovery. No one wants to see children have to go through that, or faculty.
When they said that we had to go, I grabbed my cell phone.
It's okay, baby. It's been a big day for everybody.
The shooting happened in Columbine High School, but the entire community was affected. I mean, the ripple effect was immense.
In June of 2009, our camera crew traveled to Columbine High School and to Platte Canyon High, 2 schools nestled in scenic Colorado communities, and the sites of 2 of America's most infamous, unexpected, and tragic incidents of violence.
Check, no bad guys, just kids. We reform up in a tighter triangle, and I'm coming this way, and I scan immediately over here where I see the bad guy here with a pistol to a young lady's head. And my target's probably this big, and he's saying he'll do it, he'll shoot, he'll kill her.
When the SWAT team entered the room, the perpetrator had her in his grip.
When Emily was shot and killed right in front of us as we put rounds into the suspect shot himself. That happened less than the distance that you and I are standing at.
Emily's gift was a voice, and we can talk about this. We can get the conversation on the table.
Through the heartbreaking stories of these brave families and the unforgettable experiences of students and school administrators, a very real need to improve school safety has emerged.
The days of sending your kids to school and just assuming that everything is taken care of or everything is just going to go along fine, those days are over. And we've had many wake-up calls. And to not hear those calls, I think, is a huge mistake.
By sharing these and other stories of school violence from around the nation and around the world, and adding the advice of activists and security experts, this documentary will encourage new conversations about improving school safety.
What about a security plan for your school?
Complacency cannot exist anywhere.
A security plan is what you do before the emergency happens.
And it is not necessary to run a school, an airport.
How do I control every day who comes in and out of my building?
But you have to do something, and that something has to be credible.
Do I have a plan to do that, or is it ad hoc? Security should be a planned operation.
We will look at tools, resources, and tactics that can aid safety efforts.
Comprehensive school safety planning includes the prevention and mitigation, the preparedness, the response and recovery.
And some things that you can do at a local level that aren't necessarily expensive, but if they're done properly, they significantly improve the level of protection at your school.
We will review new technologies on the horizon, from a variety of less lethal weaponry to improved communications and state-of-the-art video surveillance.
What happens is all of our campus security has their Palm Pilots or Blackberries, and so the information that I'm showing you on this computer, our campus securities and administrators have access to this.
We will also examine promising software enhancements that make human observers more effective.
We're not necessarily advocating that schools go out and install more cameras. What we're saying is take the data that you're already collecting and use it much more wisely.
You can do simple mugshot matching, and you can get highly accurate answers for the bad guys you're looking for.
This documentary also glimpses the latest response training adopted by SWAT and police teams to handle active shooter scenarios.
Jack, are we getting any updates? But what we concentrate on, of course, is life-saving, and life-saving in a very violent, hostile environment.
Victim 10 feet.
Those are as vivid as the imagination can be. Those are the things that we need to prepare for.
If you have an active shooter in the school or any school that's going to kill kids, we need to neutralize and stop that immediately.
Our goal? To make school safety every community's priority, so that whether it's a natural disaster or act of human violence, the chaos and losses of Columbine and Platte Canyon translate into workable solutions for those on the front lines of safety.
Columbine should never go away. I mean, because 13 people did die, people should know about them and know how to prevent a tragedy from happening like this in their own school.
So I was probably like a lot of parents. It wasn't that I didn't think it could happen here, I just didn't give it a thought. And by telling the story that, yeah, it can happen here, perhaps that's enough to cause some introspection to see, well, maybe it can happen here too.
If we can look at this in a larger scope, law enforcement, schools, community, our politicians, if we all would just take ownership of our one little piece of the puzzle and work together towards the common goal, we can make some pretty incredible things happen.